Hello students, my name is Srilatha, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering in Vignan Institute of Information Technology. In this video, we are going to see Unit 3, that is Effort Estimation and Activity Planning. In this lecture, we are going to cover estimation techniques, function point analysis and SLOC, that is source line of code. Now, before moving to the estimation techniques, let us know what is estimation. Estimation is the process of finding an estimate or approximate value. So, estimation determines how much money, effort, resources and time it will take to build a project or a software. Estimation usually is based on past data, available documents, assumptions and identified risks. Usually, the four basic steps in software project estimation are: estimate the estimation based on size, estimation based on effort, estimation based on schedule, and estimation based on cost. Now, let us see the first one, that is project size estimation. So, software size may be estimated in terms of SLOC or KLOC. SLOC is nothing but source line of code and KLOC is kilo line of code. So, in software size estimation, the estimation is measured in terms of lines of code and by calculating the number of function points in the software. Lines of code depend upon the coding practices and function points vary according to the functions defined in the based on the software requirements. So, project estimation usually is measured in two ways, that is lines of code and the other one is function point analysis. And function point analysis in turns takes two functions, that is data functions and transition functions. Data functions also consists of two more functions called as internal logical files and external interface files. Similarly, transition functions in turn consists of three functions, that is external inputs, external outputs and external inquiries. SLOC is nothing but estimation is done. Now let us see what is SLOC. SLOC is nothing but source lines of code. Estimation is done on the number of lines of codes in the software product. So for example, if my program contains 10 lines of code, then SLOC or LOC is nothing but 10. That means the number of lines that are written in the program will be counted as the lines of SLOC, and that is nothing. LOC always counts the total number of lines that are written by the programmer in the code. So the units of LOC are KLOC, which is nothing but kilo lines of code, which is always in 1000 numbers, and NLOC is nothing but non-comment lines of code, and KDSI is nothing but thousands of delivered source instruction. The advantages of using this LOC are: it is universally accepted measure and it is mainly used in COCOMO model, which we will be dealing with this in the coming lectures, and estimation is closer to the developer's perspective and it is very simple to use. And coming to the disadvantages, different programming languages contains different number of lines, so it varies from different languages. So here finding of SLOC is difficult compared to the why, because different programming languages contains different lines of code. And other one is no proper industry standard exists for this estimation. And one more important disadvantage of this SLOC is that it is difficult to estimate the size using this technique at the early stages of the project. So that is also one of the drawback of using this source line of code technique. Next one, which is used for measuring the project estimation, is function point analysis, which is called as FPA. So this function point analysis, in this function points estimation is done on behalf of the number of function points present in the software product. And function point analysis technique quantifies the functions contained within the software. So function point analysis consists of two major functions, that is data functions and transition functions, and data functions in turn consists of two more functions called internal logical files and external interface files. And Transition functions in turn consist of external inputs, external outputs, and external inquiries. Now let us see the data functions of functional point analysis. Coming to the first one, that is internal logical files. Now let us move to the data functions of function point analysis. The first one is internal logical files. So internal logical file is a user identifiable group of logically related data. So internal logical file in general consists of user identifiable group of logically related data that controls information and usually that resides entirely within the application boundary. So in internal logical files, internal logical file is a user identifiable group of related data which consists of information that resides entirely within the application boundary only. And next one is external interface files, which is called as EIF. It is a user identifiable group of logically related data that controls information that is used by the application for reference purposes only. So here in internal logical files, the logically related data or the information resides entirely within the application boundary only, whereas in this external interface files, it also consists of a logical related data and it is used by the applications only for the reference. So next functions in function point analysis is transition functions. Transition function consists of external inputs. So external input is a transition function in which data goes into the application from outside boundary to inside. That means that the input that you are giving to this function goes into the application from the outside application. Next one is external outputs. So in this, external output is a transition function in which data comes out of the system. And next one is external inquiries. External inquiry is a transition function with both input and output components through which we can retrieve the data. So next estimation technique is effort estimation. So in these effort estimations, the managers estimate the efforts in terms of personnel requirement and manpower required to complete the product or the software. For effort estimation, software size should be known. So before calculating the effort estimation, we should know the size of the software. And next estimation is project schedule estimation. So in this project schedule estimation, it refers to all the activities to be done in specified order within some time allotment. So in this project scheduling, it always refers to all the activities to be done with respect to some order and within the time slot allotted to the activity. For scheduling a project, it is necessary to break down the project into manageable tasks, and we have to find out various tasks and correlate them, and we have to estimate the time frame required to complete each task and divide the time into work units and calculate total time required to start the project and end the project. Next one is project cost estimation. So this might be considered as the most difficult of all because it depends upon more elements than any one of the previous techniques. So for estimating project cost, it is required to consider the size of the